lovely to see you.
And you.
Do you bring a nun costume with you just on travels, just in case? Is it just such a part of your life, Jenny, or do you enjoy closing the wardrobe on that?
I sort of enjoy closing the wardrobe on it. It's wonderful when I'm filming to get into that habit each day. And I spend less time than everybody else does, which is great. But no, it's nice leaving it behind.
But over 10 years now, it's become such an incredibly successful show. Something at the very, very beginning, no one knew the success it was going to become. You were all sort of thinking, well, we'll give it a whirl and see how it goes, and here we are.
Didn't even think that. There were 6, it was a mini-series, basically. There were 6 episodes, and there was no Christmas special that time. And I thought, this is a wonderful piece. It never occurred to me that Jennifer Worth's memoirs would then continue into Heidi Thomas's wonderful stories over the many years that we've done it. And I can't believe we've just finished the 13th year.
Wow.
And that, our lives have all changed during that, as well as the world that we're working on each year. And we've just done 68 going into 69.
Do you ever find that, because it is a show that doesn't shy away from difficult issues, and yet a lot of the time it is shown as a series that it's just cosy and it's, heartwarming and you snuggle up with your cocoa, when it really isn't that at all?
I often think that the people that say that about it have never actually seen it, because, no, we do deal with difficult issues and they're not always resolved. The only thing that does seem to resolve them is the fact that you have this community that work together, that give each other a great deal of support, and that's how it works.
And it gives a, it's lovely to see these women who would otherwise be forgotten, the journeys that they went on at that time. You have, during the years we've been doing it, we've seen the journey of women, and the roles have been changing, and you see that changing all the time. You see medicine changing, you see social values changing. What's interesting is sometimes that one comes back and you think, things are different, but they're not. Heidi Thomas manages to pick out things that actually echo in today's world as well, whether it's homothermia or female genital mutilation or dealing with...
Oh, wow, it goes into...
we've had that as well. We've had many issues coming up. So
you've also had somewhat of a Hollywood career as well. I just want to hear, you've dipped into the Marvel series as well, which is every actor's dream, surely.
Oh, such fun, absolutely. I mean, it's peculiar because you don't really get a script to begin with, because everything's kept so quiet. In fact, I remember I wasn't even allowed my pages, but I had already done one Marvel and then was asked if I'd do another. Yes, of course, I'd love to. And when I arrived, I had to sit with the security guard to read through the script and then give it back and make sure I wasn't photographing it or anything like that. But it was lovely to do, and I got to beat up Robert Redford.
I know, I mean, God, amazing. Because you did live in Hollywood for quite a long time, didn't you? Do you miss that world? Are you quite happy here?
It's a very different world. It's interesting, when I came back from Los Angeles, because I went there when I was 21, 17 years there, and then when I came back, when I got married, I had become so used to an American culture that I actually found it quite hard to relate to English humour and the way of being. It was as though, it's two places divided by a common language.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a different culture.
Very much home. But a lovely event coming up, Jenny, that you're supporting, Carols by Candlelight.
Yes.
It's on the 14th of December, and it's for a wonderful cause that you feel very, very passionately about, and hopefully raising lots of funds, cystic fibrosis.
Yes.
It's something that you've experienced living with within your own family members, of course. So tell us about the event itself and the work that you're hoping to do off the back of it.
Well, it's been going for 21 years, and I've been involved since it started. It raises money for the Alice Martineau appeal. Alice Martineau was a young woman with cystic fibrosis who I knew and was absolutely wonderful. She had a wonderful voice. She was a singer. And she died before the carol, 21 years ago when it first started. And it's a carol service that goes on each year. For me, it's always the beginning of Christmas.
Yeah.
Because it is, we have wonderful choir there. David Hay will be there this year. I'll be reading. And it's on the 14th of December, as you mentioned. And it'll also be streamed as well on the screens.
Oh, lovely,
if people want to look up and join it. And if they can't come along to the actual concert itself in London at St Luke's. But it raises money for the Cystic Fibrosis Trust and the research that is done. Because we've entered an extraordinary time with cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
Been incredible breakthroughs.
There has, yes.
Extraordinary breakthroughs, which are absolutely as a result of the money going into research.
And you've got a personal reason for being involved
Yes,
in this.
my niece has CF, and also another nephew has recently, we discovered, had CF. What the extraordinary news is that from when she was born to today, I mean, the drugs, she is now taking what they call a breakthrough drug, basically, which comes from a company called Vertex, and that has changed her life completely.
Because her life expectancy wasn't supposed to be that long, was it?
Well, when she was born, the median age was kind of 8 years old, and today they talk about it being 33 years old. And it changes all the time. One's seen it change. But these breakthrough drugs have been extraordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, they've changed people's lives enormously with CF. The difficulty we're facing right now is that they're extremely expensive, and NICE are no longer recommending them, and they're going through a period where they're looking at that and seeing whether they can actually see whether that's cost effective. The great hope is that Vertex will actually, who are now in profit from the drugs, bring the cost right down.
Yeah.
So globally, people with cystic fibrosis will get that benefit, because if they don't, I mean, I think they're talking about something like a 40-year difference in people's lives, being able to take that
incredible,
drug.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. It really is a big, big change.
Research and money, of course, is so important. And just talk about your niece, Rachel, and she actually inspired a storyline in Call The Midwife, in fact, didn't she?
Yes, because each year they're looking at the medical changes that happen. And in our third series, we were dealing with a year that cystic fibrosis was, they could test and find out about it. And I put that story forward to Heidi Thomas, thinking she might be able to do it. She created a most wonderful story around a family that had CF, because our own family had this peculiarity of it going on through generations, which often it's not spotted because you have to have two people with a faulty gene, and that's not seen within the families for someone with CF to actually appear. And yes, because of Rachel, because of that being in our family, I put.
That's wonderful, exactly. And again, it's back to the importance of the series as well, isn't it? Highlighting, like you say, so all of the issues, isn't it?
Absolutely. We've come to this year. I think we're talking about fertility, and we get multiple births.
Oh goodness! Right, no more spoilers, Jenny. Thank you so much, as always, Jenny Agutter, ladies and gentlemen.